Warning, I swear a lot.
Hello friends, and welcome back to Limbus Company. Welcome to the Mnestic experience. We finally got through that fucking railway. It was a good railway. I enjoyed it, but oh boy, I had to work harder for that than I probably should have. And it was entirely my fault. But we're good to go. We're good to get started on this. There is an ID in here, isn't there? Yeah, there is. Either ID or ego, I'm not sure. Definitely what we'll want to save up for first. So without further ado, in we go. Very classy. Also, if we go back for just a moment, hold on there. Hold on a minute. This is an N-Corp, straight up. Yeah, this is 100% an N-Corp. Okay, cool. We're gonna get to see what this place is like. It looks fucking grey as hell. Very sterile. Okay. Sure, what do you got? Consultation session. Oh, we have a lot to talk about after everything, of which there were many. No, wait. For this one, we should go about it like... No, Heathcliff's been in the vanguard for too long. I should pull him back and let him... Dante. Fucking wake up. Huh? Oh, sorry. Did you say something? I was too busy playing with my Sinner miniatures. See, look, the Heathcliff one is still wearing the stupid bear suit. It's fun. I provided you an answer to your question, but you exhibited no observable response. Is the Sinner's combat performance deteriorating beyond manageable parameters? Only when I use the Seven Association. No, things aren't that bad, but it's just hard to focus on one conversation when I'm trying to support battles happening in completely different places at once. On top of that, Rhodia's shopping chatter's starting to get a little distracting. A few days after we entered N-Corp's district, the boss pulled over in the back street of N-Corp to take care of a distortion case. This contract was supposed to be handled jointly with the LCD team, but... distortions suddenly started cropping up all over an area of the back streets called Butter Street, without any coherent pattern, no obvious point of origin, or route of spread. Nothing convenient like that, and I had no choice but to split the sinners into several groups and send them out. Oh, that must be real fucking easy to deal with. Otis, Ishmael, Sinclair, Don Quixote, Yi-Sang, and Merceau were on their way to rendezvous with the LCD team. Heathcliff, Gregor, and Hong Lu were suppressing distortions that showed up from other directions. And with our onboard stock scraped down to the bottom, Rhodia and Ryoshu, who were done with their share of the suppression work, were put in charge of buying supplies for the bus. As for Faust, she decided to stay behind with me on the bus. I wanted to get through the consultation sessions I'd been putting off, and thought I might as well get myself some much-needed practice with handling the new golden bow power I'd acquired. To reiterate, there are no issues requiring special concern for Faust. I don't know. If they're actually out there calling you stupid Faust, I feel like that's something worth talking about. It is true that Faust has, on several recent occasions, expressed dissatisfaction with a certain Faust. However, those instances should be classified as a mere personal grievance. I mean, that's good if that's all there is to it, but you're literally being bullied inside your own head. That's a bit fucked. This was not the first time Faust had seemed unlike herself. There have been times before when she spent far longer alone than usual, lost in thought, moments when she could not produce immediate answers to questions from the other sinners or me, usually when she's separated from the Gazelle Shaft. Could it be you can't access the Gazelle Shaft? May I ask your basis for that inference? Because you're acting a lot like you did back on the warp train, you know, like yourself. It appears there remains occasions on which you are still capable of surprising Faust, Dante. Thank you. So I was right, you really are caught from the Gazelle Shaft. We're doomed! That was not intended as a confirmation of your conjecture, and yet it was. Maybe she's saying that while she can technically access the Gazelle Shaft, it may as well be that she can't, because getting the answer about that fucking Ujat lady basically cost her so much in regards to her standing amongst the other Fausts that she basically can't go there and ask questions for a while. I wish I could ask more and get to the bottom of it, but the way she was sidestepping the subject told me that prying wouldn't give me any further insight. Not until I canto, anyway. Right, I won't press you if you don't want to talk about it. Your reserve is appreciated. Shall we move on? Yes, your consultation is the next agenda. After cross-referencing the records pertaining to the recent events in the House of Spiders, it would appear that memories concerning the individuals designated as Sora and Ren currently remain only with you, Dante. No pressure or anything, being charged as the only person who can actually preserve their memory. As such, should the influence of Ryosho and her sword lead to further omissions in the official records, the manager will be responsible for supplementing the necessary information, including that door that she apparently destroyed. I don't know, I don't remember it. Yeah, not the first time I was the only one left with intact memories, huh? That's right. Despite K-Corp's memory wipe procedure, Catherine's erasure by the Golden Bow's power, and Arashiki severing people from existence, I was the only one who remembered what had transpired, except for Heathcliff on that one occasion. But ironically enough, the memories I had prior to swapping my head with this clock still showed no sign of returning. Why won't my old memories come back though? Is it because of this clock head? Speculation based on your experience with the bus team thus far will not meaningfully contribute to the recovery of your former memories, manager. Inductive reasoning conducted from memories with gaps, after all, is bound to have structural limitations. Bongy would serve as an adequate analogy. Bongy? Yes, bongy. Receiving feed and increasing in body mass alone would provide it with no meaningful basis for identifying the purpose of its rearing. Even at the terminal stage, when exposed to kitchen instruments and the heat of the stove, its limited experience would prove inadequate to constitute an understanding of its ultimate fate and purpose. This is not a brilliant analogy to make. You're a lamb to the slaughter, Dante. You don't need to understand it. Likewise, the ultimate answer to your doubts can only be obtained from the whole of the experience that you have accumulated at the terminus of your entire journey. That is, your allotted mission. Because treasure awaits at the end of the road, at the end of hell. And that treasure will give me back my memories and my head also. Indeed, at the end of the road you will be able to engrave your aspect. I still have no idea what aspect means, me neither, or even whether it's an object, but if I know one thing, it's that the me from before all this began had wanted it badly, obsessively, desperately. It's more like an instinctive knowledge, but with my memories gone, that feeling, however strong it is, does not change the fact that it's just another word with no discernible mental image. And you're not going to tell me what it actually is, are you, the aspect? Please tell us what it is, it'd be really fucking helpful. What it means, or why I wanted it so much. If it remains a piece of information that must be disclosed to you, then no. I will only tell you when you've already figured it out, thereby rendering me utterly fucking useless in this specific regard. I am unable to tell you. Huh? Pay it no mind, you are still following your star acceptably. Please concentrate on the journey. Fine! More importantly, have you grown accustomed to that incomplete power? Current observations suggest you have yet to arrive at that level. Well, I've gotten pretty used to focusing on one place at a time, but keeping track of several places at once is still a bit rough. Otis's team is doing well in combat even without my direct supervision, and Rhodey's team is shopping and not engaged in battle at the moment. Taking my mind off of them would prove much easier. But that wouldn't give me the much needed practice, so I'm doing my best to keep an eye on every sinner's status. Sufficient familiarity should result in substantial tactical value. You would be able to cast a wider net when information gathering and employ previously unavailable tactical patterns. Big potential, but also, oh boy, that's hard. We've made the LobCorp comparison before, where, you know, playing LobCorp essentially resulted in you needing to multitask across an entire facility, keeping an eye on many things. But I think it's somehow even... I feel like Dante's situation is trickier, because they can hear and see kind of all of it, and it's all instantaneous, like, checking back and forth. I don't know, this might sound a bit weird, but I feel like the time it takes to check on one place in LobCorp to checking on another, however minute that amount of time is, would at least allow your brain to kind of process the change as you go. Like, don't get me wrong, this process is done in a manner of like seconds, or milliseconds even. But instantly being able to snap to different scenarios and have to adjust to what's happening to them on the fly, I feel like would be a lot more difficult than what we had to deal with in LobCorp. It's hard to say. I haven't played a game that allows me to instantaneously snap between managing different things. Right, and I'd also be able to tell when it's a bad time to call someone in too. Like, I don't know, if they were making a Lego Death Star for the 4th time. Even as I continue talking with Faust, I make sure not to stop observing the places where each group is and what they're doing. Yep, pulling Heathcliff to the rear was the right call. I don't see any injuries. His team's still doing pretty well, even without my directions, and now Faust is talking and I can't hear her. As for Rhodia, wait, did she just stuff all of the pastries and bread she bought into her pockets? How did she manage that with a huge baguette? I noticed this group, let's see. Looks like they joined up with the LCD team without any issues. LCD. Then that guy over there must be Bamboo Head Kim! Hang on. Faust, there's a dude I've seen before, but he seems a bit, different from what I remember. Are you not even going to compliment Engdu on her new arms? Come on now. Could you specify the issue? I'm monitoring the situation right now. We should probably join up with them too. Let's end the consultation here. This is rather precipitous, Dante. If the incident is of a serious nature, perhaps a request for support from the LCC. No, it's not an incident. I wouldn't say it's not serious. Ominous, I like it. Dante's never been ominous. Oh, maybe a little ominous, but not that ominous. Rendezvous. I love to rendezvous. Oh, yes, I do. I bet it's really fucking Merceau. Oh, this is going from bad to worse, really. Dante seems to be tied up helping the other groups. Otis's command calls have been working out well enough, I'll give her that. We've managed to hold the line better than expected, but we're definitely starting to feel the strain. And my orders are perfect, thank you. Oh. Why are you waving your hand all over arm and hand signals? What signals? What's swinging the arm sideways even supposed to mean? You don't know? It's scatter, damn it, so scatter. Crash. That was close, we almost got flattened. Damn it, even rookies with nothing but the most rudimentary of military training would have recognized a hand signal that basic. Well, we're not all trained soldiers here, are we? I am, like 4 years in the future. But that's then, this is now. Verily, the flourish of a single hand doth indeed make boast of a chivalric elegance, yet when thou suddenly wavest thine arm about clenching and unclenching thy hand in that mystical fashion only to turn tail, forsooth I am left bereft of understanding what thou meanest to say. To think that all of the personnel in the team, only the swabby has the discipline to interpret a basic field signal. I only picked it up during my sailing days, back when I was a sailor, because I was a sailor, you know. And realistically speaking, did you really expect ordinary people like the others to understand professional military signals? They're not sailors, like I was, on the Great Lake. This is unacceptable. After all of the operations, all of you have been deployed under my lead, you're still ignorant when it comes to non-verbal signals. I don't think even Dante would know those signals. I don't. It reminds me, though. I remember back when I worked at a window factory, actually, this was around about the time this channel started, right? What, 6 or 7 years ago. At the time, I was working at a window factory. And on agency, I didn't give a fuck about the place. I just needed money. I needed a job, and the agency was like, there's a window factory. I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. And the factory were like, hey, this guy, one of our drivers in the lorries and trucks and whatever, needs to go deliver some of these. Would you mind going with him? And I was like, sure, why not? And we hung out for the day, just driving around. And at one point, he was like, okay, I need to back the lorry into here. I need you to tell me when to stop. And I'm like, okay. So I get out of the lorry to watch it, and then he backs up. Now, I'm sure all of you have been near a truck or a heavy goods vehicle at least once in your life. They're fucking loud. So if I was like, oh, you should stop the fucking truck, he probably wouldn't hear me. So I stood where he could see me, and I held up my hands in a stop motion, like both hands up in front of me, straight. I think you can envision that. It's not difficult. And then, like, pushing them forward slightly to say, stop, right? And he completely ignored me and backed into the fucking wall, and I was like, marvelous, fantastic. He gets out of the fucking truck and does the motion to me and goes, what's that? And I'm like, it's stop, you stupid fuck. I properly verbally laid into him, because I was like, fuck you, this is obvious, come on. What I'm telling you is I'm basically Otis, it's fine. It still pisses me off, because I was like, what else could it mean? I'm not saying speed up, you stupid fucking whatever. Yeah, might as well be splitting hairs, literally. Let us appease our agitated hearts and follow Miss Otis's instruction. We should disperse and withdraw. Megaton landing! Bam! Hey, pretty cool, huh? Let's face it, I know how to make one heck of an entrance. Oh, are you supposed to be cleaning up the distortions upstairs? Huh? Oh, finito a million years ago. It was nothing. You guys were taking forever, so I figured I'd take a peek and lend a hand. You're welcome. Split by your thundering descent, the floor's form and shape are now crushed beyond mending, sunken deep enough to be likened to the incipience of a wellspring. Don't you worry your head about it. That's all after teams to take care of. They basically spend most of their lives doing fucking grouting and tile placement. Anyway, that should be all of them, right? The force of your landing neutralized the last of the distortions outside of the building. Great! Can you check on the distorted peeps' faces and clothes? Their faces are all segmented, makes my skin crawl, not a pleasant sight. As for their attire, this one appeareth to be a sweeper, and that one yonder bears the attire of an ordinary fixer. And this distortion I landed on, probably a local resident judging by the clothes. Did any of you happen to see anything nearby bursting with a big pop and flash? Nay, not once. Okie dokie, you know what? Then let's all head upstairs. This suppression request is kind of a pain. We'll need to put together a nice neat plan before we start poking it too hard. A plan, sayest thou? How? Was this not a mere matter of slaying distortions where they stand? Wait, did nobody brief you? This has oft been the structure of our assignments. We are given instructions, we perform them, and only afterwards do we begin to perceive the nature and contour of the task to which we have committed our hands. We do not have the luxury to ask why. Really? Well, I guess every department has its own way of doing things. No big deal, I'll explain everything once we're upstairs. Oh, by the way, you didn't get to meet the whole team last time, did you? Only our new girl. This time, that dude, I mean, Mr. Bamboo Hat Kim's also here, so that's pretty big. He's okay now? Huh? Sure he is. You'd be surprised once you see just how okay he is now. The last time you said he was still under treatment. To be precise, I believe Miss Engdu stated that his mind is yet to regain its former tranquility. You'll get it once you see him. I feel like we'll just end up having the same conversation twice if I say anything about it now. Creak. You've arrived. It's blinding. I can't see anything. We really need to obscure his appearance before we finally reveal it. And assuming the player has not in fact been revealed a spoiler on his appearance by doing a standard extraction when they were just trying to get Sinclair ego shards, that would be ridiculous and unlikely, despite the fact I saw that same thing happen to other people in the comments. It's so bright, the midday sun's pouring in like crazy. Yet the warm tickle of the sunbeam is rather agreeable. No, this is not sunlight. Because unlike this, there is more to the sunshine than its warmth. Then what exactly is this light? Why is this thing on again? It's bright enough to fry my eyeballs. Apologies, Lady Ezra. I'm yet to be accustomed to this machine. This is my first time laying a hand upon the complicated workings of such a contraption. It activated of its own accord, and I've yet to discover the method by which it may be silenced. So neither of you are aura farming, you're just stuck with a machine you don't understand. Okay. That's why I told you to leave it alone. Fiddling with things you don't understand usually ends with something, or you, broken. Nothing good comes of it, I tell you. But, Mentor, Lady Moses has instructed me that in every moment and event, clues are hidden under the veil of one's surroundings and must be examined with care. Yes, and that only works if you're savvy about the knack. Hang on, did you just say Mentor? Yeah. I had not yet been afforded a proper opportunity to introduce him to you. This here is the esteemed leader of the Blade lineage, who is all but a master under whom I have apprenticed. Do you really have to dress up like that? I told you I only took on the role because there wasn't anyone else around to take the job. Damn, Kim. Switch, where's the switch? Gotcha. There we go. He's not even wearing That's a really funny bait and switch. That's really funny. He reminds me of Vincent from Catherine. I think it's the expression that really sells it. Who is Bamboo Hat Kim? He's a fucking deadbeat. Engdu looks cool though. I dig it. Goodness. Known as Bamboo Hat Kim. Yeah, that's me. I guess I should say pleased to meet you, folks. Aye. I like it. I love him already. I desperately... Okay, I think this is where they're going with it. I don't know. I'm gonna get it out now. I desperately hope they're going for the fucking master swordsman person who is a stupid, lazy piece of shit. Because it's genuinely one of my favorite archetypes. Like, I know it's been done many times, but I love it. I love it when the Master Swordsman is a fucking bum. It's great. One of my favorite dynamics. I love it to pieces. And if that is what they're doing with Kim, I will be so happy. You have no idea. Yeah, it's me. Hello. Look at him. He's brilliant. I love him immediately. Please just make him a stupid asshole. Is literally all I want. You have no idea. Well, I think a lot of you do, actually. But... Please, please, please. I guess now I can't wait for the bot gack, because I want to hear Kim's normal voice, as opposed to his distorted one. Okay, so... More often than not, first impressions are prone to change. The bamboo-hatted Kim I remember was a man who drowned in his own fathoms, blaming himself for his powerlessness with a listless, heavy voice. And it's interesting because the only insight other than that we got into bamboo-hatted Kim's personality was through Merceau's identity. But we have to bear in mind, of course, that that's Merceau, that's not Kim. They don't necessarily take on that much of the identity's personality. They do sometimes, like Heath Cardo, for example, and obviously Matiotis, but it's not guaranteed. Also, I don't think they'd written bamboo-hatted Kim's personality yet back then, but don't worry about that. But there are identities that genuinely, like the sinner in question doesn't just take that identity's personality, they have their own. Or at the very least, they put their own spin on it. Heath Cardo and Matt Otis are a bit far in the opposite direction, although there is still elements of themselves there. They are definitely drawing more from those identities' personalities, probably because the two identities in question have such strong personalities. But it's interesting to see that, because we come into this with a very stilted expectation of who bamboo-hatted Kim would be, because we've had a very limited exposure to him up to this point, and we've only seen him express any kind of personality or having a personality expressed for him in those two contexts that I just mentioned. That, however, had been while he was distorted and sunken into himself, so I figured his original personality might be somewhat different. I was expecting something quite Merceau-like, to be honest, very stoic. But this is not just somewhat. His personality isn't even in the same ballpark as my expectations. It's so much better than what I was expecting, to be honest, already. You're telling me this guy here is bamboo-hatted Kim? Yep, we double-checked with Ezra, and she said he really is the same guy. Oh, that fire on your head's not hot at all. Fascinating stuff. Oh, I love him. I love him. He's great. Can you... okay, can we check again, just in case? Are you sure you didn't just find a random rat wearing his clothes? I really can't wrap my head around the fact that this is the sullen, serious man whom we'd fought. Just look what he's doing. He's rubbing my face all over like he's checking out some kind of mantelpiece ornament. Lots of ticking and talking going on. That's supposed to sound like them talking to you folks, huh? Ah. I love him so much. These expressions are correct. I already love him. I absolutely adore him already. If he fucking dies by the end of this, I'm going to be livid. And by this, I mean this intervalo. And by this point, at the very least, I'm glad they did not go with a bamboo-hatted Kim who is just an edgelord. Like, there's going to be edgy aspects to him. There's a lot going on with the Blade lineage, and, you know, they've been through a lot. But I'm glad that that's not all he's got, basically. Or that's not the foundation of his personality. There's a person in there. Further confirmation would be redundant, Dante. This individual is conclusively identical to the one designated as bamboo-hatted Kim. I've got no idea what you folks are so suspicious about. I'm just some guy, you know? Dang, dude, just what exactly have you been telling people out there about me? They're all staring like they've seen a ghost. I told them you are a gallant and formidable warrior, Mentor. That is correct. But they don't look like they've heard the most flattering things about me. There, don't you hear it? The faint undercurrent of disappointment in the ticking? Kudos to him for being able to recognize that. I also told him that you are a man of few words, but with much affection for the followers under your command. Engdu. Yes, Mentor. That's a complete and utter lie. Man of few words is definitely not something you can say about a guy who's as talkative as me, don't you think? Yet I spoke no falsehood. Although your conduct is rather shallow and perhaps less refined for a leader of an organization, you are much more reserved and taciturn when conversing with those unfamiliar to you, are you not? No matter who one may be, one is bound to inspire either approval or disapproval from those around him, so I refrained from mentioning any truths that might invite the latter. To even hint at anything that might tarnish the reputation of my master would not be unlike spitting on his name, and mine by extension. So you hyped this guy up like a motherfucker, and now he's shown up and had to live up to it. poor bastard. I simply had no reason to put on airs in front of my own folks. In any case, oh, so you can't see anything if I block this part, huh? Do tell, how many fingers am I holding up? Those are not my eyes, you know. Your own folks, huh? Then you've already acknowledged and accepted that you now belong to Limbus Company. Why didst thou not pay a visit to the LCE? Verily, when one's mind is plagued by the absence of tranquility, venturing forth into the open air and touchable field of grass cleareth the storm of the heart. An asset of the company is expected to act in the company's interest, yet for whatever reason I didn't see you fighting on the field of battle during Operation Spiderpire. You will have to account for your absence in the mission. Apparently I am your superior now, don't know how the fuck that happened. Otis addressed Kim as though she were conducting a formal investigation, every word flat and hard. It was obvious she was not about to let her guard down anytime soon. What mission? Oh, that one. Kim finally seemed inclined to assume a more serious disposition. He stopped peering into my face and turned toward Otis, although his hand was still on my head. I need to see that drawn, because that should be very funny. Alright, clearly there's some disconnect in expectations here. Listen, you. I'm really not all that about hard, bothersome work, get what I mean? He is a bum! Oh. Yes! Are you gonna help with this fight, Kim? Fuck no, it's my third nap of the day, do you mind? The real disconnect was between his stoic expression and the words coming out of his mouth. What? So let's talk about the kind of fellow I am. Meet the resident layabout who's forced to do his job. With a frown too, I might add. Only when he's got absolutely no other choice. I'm really not some big shot Engd who's apparently been promoting me as, folks. And I relate to him immediately. And I'd very much like to stop getting roped into stuff that keeps putting my life on the line. Fine, then why did you join the LCD in the first place if you'd rather be unemployed? No, never mind, they probably forced you to stay. You catch on quick. First they spout this nonsense about distortions and all, and then force-hired me, calling me a company-owned resource or whatever. And the other day they were again on about, what's his name? Golden Bow, yeah, they invited me on a tour to another department to listen in on some important presentation. And I accepted. I thought it would be a fine opportunity to broaden my perspective. Engdu, dear, there are times when your commitment to duty shines brighter than the sun. I find that attitude so dazzling that I have to squint when I'm looking at you. Who knows? Maybe that's why I'm wearing this bamboo hat, to shade my eyes from your utter brilliance. Do you mean to say that you're in need of a shield to protect your eyes? Oh my god. Lady Ezra, might I submit a request for a pair of sunglasses? Look at his fucking face. Oh, fuck off. That's the best expression they've ever drawn. Oh, it's better than I could have dreamed. Only if it's not too much of an imposition on the budget, that is. That's right there. That's what I keep telling you not to do. You can't just say yes to every silly thing he says and turn it into a supply request. Small expenses add up to a lot, you know. You gotta save up everything you can in the piggy bank while you still can, or you'll end up broke. Is there truly no room for reconsideration? No means no. Then pray make the purchase for me. I shall cover the cost myself. No, Kent. What? My poor mentor is in a state of great discomfort, yet I possess neither the wisdom nor the knowledge to navigate the silver tongue of merchants and the maze of stalls to locate the very best item, so I must beg this favor of you. You're giving me a frickin' headache, girl. I am aware that you and yours are no strangers to such dealings, but there is no one else I can trust to complete such a procurement with the swiftness of the wind, man, Engdu. Her personality just went to up tie 4. She's an absolute fucking treasure. I don't think many people would disagree with me here, although I'd be interested to hear differing opinions on this certainly. But if BM do end up doing a fucking anime, it has to be following the LCD, surely. Look at all the characters we've got, for fuck's sake. Moses, Ezra, Engdu, Kim, Vesper, writes itself, no? You could probably put, oh, god damn it, Kira. You could probably put Kira in there as well. Get a proper well-rounded group. You know what? Never mind what I said. I'll just get you what you want. You heard the gentle lady, Mentor. Your suffering shall soon be alleviated. Right. Cool. My apologies for interrupting you amid conversation. Pray, continue. You had reached the part where they invited you to tour another department. No sooner Engdu's words left her lips and her eyes glinted with something I couldn't really put my finger on, but it was a strange intensity that sent a chill down my spine. Yeah, so, that day, I was just gonna relax here and watch some TV. Well, good on you for showing up to work today, I guess. Well, let's just say there's a debt to be repaid. At least you understand we are indeed indebted to the company. Yeah, I suppose I do. Kim's gaze lingered on Engdu's prosthetic arms as he answered. Oh, Miss Engdu, your arms. Only after following Kim's gaze did Sinclair seem to notice Engdu's brand new prosthetic arms, which turned her into an absolute fucking weapon, and she already was one. The last time we saw her, Engdu had lost both her arms, and I remember Ezra asking her to sit tight and choose what type of prosthesis she wanted. Those arms are probably it. It's not just the arms, even her clothes are different now, and that sword. I had these arms fitted anew as soon as the operation was concluded. The gracious hosts in one of the LCD's teams had prepared them in advance. With evident satisfaction, Engdu held up her dark metallic wrists as if to showcase them. The components fixed along her arm clicked and rattled, unfolding for a moment before neatly folding back into place. Oh, such graceful smoothness wed to machine articulation! 'Tis as though I am beholding the marvelous prosthesis of the illustrious Siegfried himself. Yep, the showcase would have gone lackluster without that trademark reaction. Those are strikingly similar to Schwarz Industries' N7 lineup, but I thought that model was discontinued. Nah, not theirs. It's one of the prototypes developed by LCD's Phenomena Deciphering team, and they put them on her for trial. Doubt you'll find another like them. They're based on technology spun from distortions. Oh, I see. For a brief moment, Sinclair's eyes lit up as if he had glimpsed something that brought him back to a memory. Then just as quickly, he fell silent, whatever he wanted to say next catching in his chest. Oh. Does something trouble you, Master Sinclair? Yes, I imagine it does. It wasn't hard to understand what struck the tender memory for Sinclair and why it cast a shadow over his face. But... sorry, it just reminded me of something from a long time ago. My dad used to work with prosthetics before he passed away. I thought this was the exact same model I saw back then. It appears I lacked tact. These arms have stirred a painful memory within you. For that, I apologize. It's alright, I'm fine now. Sinclair's voice still carried a faint tremor, but beneath it there was a firmness that had not been there before. See, he's making progress. Our boy's doing well. He really had grown a great deal. You can thank yours truly for picking the sword. I was there with her. I did inform Lady Ezra that any blade that could serve as a weapon would suffice, but she insisted on browsing the goods. I dare say I was given the opportunity to lay my eyes on every type of sword I could ever hope to see in this life, walking through the workshop street that day. Oh, please, girl, we just walked for 4 hours. That's nothing. Wonder if I can... anyone watching the fridge? No, I bet I could get to the fridge. Yeah, they wouldn't see. That chair's empty. I should take that chair. While everyone was distracted taking in Engdu's new outfit and equipment, Kim had quietly slipped away from the crowd and crouched down in a corner. He was rummaging through things scattered on the floor, picking them up. Is he pocketing them? Anyway, what is this place supposed to be? What are all these things? It's basically a wreck now, but there are strobes and that cloth backdrop over there. Maybe it used to be a photo studio? Oh, that could explain why there are so many photos stuck around the place. Probably. This thing definitely looks like a camera, at least. There's gonna be 70 pictures of fucking bamboo head Kim. Sinclair picked up a small cylindrical object and turned it over in his hands, studying it with curiosity. What do you suppose this is? Battery, maybe? There's some kind of strip inside. Let me just pull it out. No, that's... Ugh. Otis shouted a sharp warning at Sinclair as if she had realized something. It's a shrapnel grenade! But Merceau's hand shot out before she could even finish, clasping over Sinclair's wrist before the strip could be pulled out. Oh, what did I do? Exposure to sunlight damages these objects. I already pulled a little bit out, though! It can be rewound. Carefully rotate the rigid section on the cylinder. I am currently blocking the sunlight from reaching the exposed section. Damage is of no concern. Oh, okay, you mean this one, right? This is the part that rotates? Yeah, it went back in. With a quiet nod, Musso took the object from Sinclair's hand. It seems to be a film roll. There is something written on the outside, experiment number 4. It appears to be a compact roll for a film camera. You seem to have handled one before. Yes. And that's all you're getting out of me. Musso's answer came without any further explanation, but the way he adjusted the camera on the table certainly didn't look like that of a first-timer. So he was a photographer. I once received a report containing photographs taken on film cameras during the war. Film rolls used by N-Corp are particularly difficult to falsify. They were often used to collect intelligence during secret operations. The film fixes light directly onto the medium, from what I've heard. A peculiar expression flashed across Ezra's face as she regarded Otis. Perhaps it was the mention of the war that caught her attention. Anyway, we've managed to regroup in one piece. Let's come up with a plan to deal with these distortions, guys. Where should we begin? Then, in the next breath, she returned to her usual bubbly self and steered the conversation away from the subject. Both Ezra and I, we are both still trying to be free of the misconception we inflicted on ourselves. For all her unfailingly perky disposition, Ezra too may be carrying traumatic memories every bit as devastating as Gregor's. Does there yet remain aught deserving illumination? Huh? Yeah, wait, you're right. Haven't we cleaned up the distortion already? I couldn't feel any more traces of distortions nearby, and it didn't seem like any of the other Sinner teams elsewhere are actively engaged in battle at the moment either. Dante is asking whether the distortion suppression has not, in fact, already been concluded. Oh, not yet. These people we fought just now, they only got caught up in the distortion. They didn't actually distort themselves. We haven't even gotten close to the distortion's inflection point yet. Inflection point? Anywho, finding an inflection point without the team leader around is going to take some time. Maybe it won't be too bad with your help. Ezra swept her eyes around the room with a look of frustration as though she had just been handed a puzzle box with half the pieces missing. By inflection point, are you referring to the point on a graph in which the directionality of its curvature changes? Calling to mind the present context, it may be less a mathematical term and more a specialized polyseme, referring to the point at which distortion occurs, the motive, intent, or indeed the point in which inflection of the mind occurs. Yeah, that's about right. That's the kind of inflection point I was talking about. So in our department, we use that term to mean the source of a distortion, the inflector or cause behind it, stuff like that. You know, distortion's hard to treat if you don't know the root cause. Treat the symptoms you see on the surface all you like, but if you never find the root cause, the distortion's never getting solved. So I guess you guys never really had to look for that kind of stuff, huh? Your boss clock opens a door into their fathoms or whatever, right? You mean Dungeon of the Fathoms? Yeah, that's the one. From where we're standing, distortions are really high maintenance, time-consuming headaches. It's one thing to somehow manage to locate the inflection point, but curing it is another thing altogether. But you guys could just march straight into someone's heart, knock the snot out of everything in there, and then ta-da, patient ready for discharge. That's how it works, right? Not gonna lie, I was so jealous when I heard about it, I almost bit my sleeve off. Well, we did do that to Bamboo Head Kim, and yet he needed, multiple cantos to recover. Which, I'm starting to think maybe he didn't need multiple cantos to recover. I think he was just taking time off because he saw an opportunity. Verily, I had thought your team would set about resolving distortions once the foe was vanquished, as we are wont to do. Was that not so? Of course not. Why would anyone come to us with a distortion suppression request if it were that simple in the first place? But yeah, most of the time peeps try brute force approaches to it first, and when things go south, they send requests to the company or to our detective's office. That means the client this time must have been... Bingo! Apparently the residents of Butterstreet had all chipped in to commission all kinds of agencies like the SPY and the Combat Specialized Fixer offices, but none of them could actually do things right, and the job got passed on to us. Meaning the distortion phenomenon related to this kind of photograph is still occurring unchecked somewhere on the streets. Exactly. That's why we gotta find something. Anything that might count as a clue. Ezra gazed down at the people lying on the floor with a complicated expression. Neat ash-grey suits, and the logo on the collar of their uniform and briefcases. Hey, isn't that N-Corp's logo? I would assume so, considering where we are. Come to think of it, wasn't Musso... I was once employed by N-Corp. Well, you used to work with those people? Yeah, he did mention that he used to work at N-Corp. Maybe you can offer us some insight. Do you know who these guys are, Musso? Yes, manager. These are N-Corp Class 2 staff members. Given the camera briefcases in their possession, they are likely members of the pin frame team of Service de Clau. I have no idea if that's how it's pronounced. Cut me some slack. Musso recited the information as though he were pulling it from a file he had already sorted and placed in the back of the shelf in his mind. Okay, pinframe team, huh? Anything you can tell us about them? Yes. It is one of MenCorp's many field departments related to information gathering and processing. Their primary duties include the handling of NCorp's internal information, analysis of NCorp's internal intelligence, the sourcing and arrangement of NCorp's internal information, and intersector... that'd be enough. Whoa, is he a talking encyclopedia or something? Yeah, another thing to be jealous of. You think it'd be okay if we borrow him sometime? Might be an issue for us if you just went and borrowed our team's encyclopedia. Looks like everyone agrees that he is in fact an encyclopedia. Anyway, your encyclopedia is right. They're from NCorp's pinframe team. Seen them a few times before in NCorp's nest. Why would people already busy dealing with nest affairs come all the way out to a shabby backstreet like this? Got any guesses? I am unable to determine that. Huh? The possible range of connection between the two pieces of information is exceedingly broad. Listing every relevant reason as to why they may have come here would require a considerable amount of time. Therefore, I will not present a determinative answer to that question. Words are hard. Ezra, staring holes into me with an unspoken, is this dude always like this, wouldn't pull any answers from me, you know. Because aside from combat situations, I've still got no way to figure out what's going on inside his head. Okay then, so maybe this will be easier to answer. From an objective point of view, and that was when I noticed something I never imagined would happen. Merceau's eyes widened, his gaze fixing me with such force I could almost feel the faint tremor in it. A leveling stare that came with... There is no such thing as an objective point of view. Manager. A clipped tone and a look almost bordering on rebuke. A given judgment may seem infinitely close to objectivity, but ultimately, all things are subjective, without exception. I suppose by technical definition. I fell silent for a moment, lost in thought. Part of it was because Merceau's reaction had caught me off guard, but I also wondered whether this response might be connected to why he would always refuse to make judgments for himself. You latch onto that kind of truth, and therefore you paralyze yourself. It's good to recognize things, but taking them as gospel limits your ability to understand and deal with things, or at least I found it to be the case. And if this has something to do with his turn, which I know is just around the corner... Got it, then tell me 3 subjective reasons you think are most likely for why these people had to come all the way into the back streets. I need to understand who he actually is as much as I can. Because I'll never know when I'll get another chance to really get to know him if I brush this off with a simple, oh I see, my bad, as usual. Yes, Manager. I would presume that their mission was one or all of the following: retrieval of a video recording or recordings in violation of NCorp's taboo, prompt elimination of the violator, contact with an informant in the backstreets collaborating with NCorp's nest, or identification and arrest of a wanted individual or individuals designated by the nest. Taboo? You mean these people could be taboo hunters? Nah, no way. They don't send out taboo hunters for every single violation, you know. Like, wings usually leave minor taboo violations to be handled by subcontracted fixer officers or employees of the department in charge. I'd say these guys here are NCorp staff. Miss Sangdu, what are you looking for in their pockets? Spare change. I need to buy my master some sunglasses. I am looking through their belongings for enlightening clues that may yet be hidden in the sleeve or the fold of their garments. Lady Moses has been gifted with the art of discerning the truth from what lies before her with but a single glance, yet my eyes are foreign to such a feat. Let me take a look too. Oh, this is an employee card, and okay, this one's a wallet, so let's put that back. We don't want to be robbers. Ah, this might be it. It's an order missive. Ezra pulled a sheet of paper out from an NCorp staff's coat and read its contents aloud. Work details. Elimination of the individual of a Category 3 taboo violation. Address, Butter Street. This is the place. Which means all of this might be pointing to something. Whoever used to work in the studio and the distortion phenomena might be connected. They knew they were going to get hunted by NCorp, so maybe they were like, oh no, and then they distorted. Yeah, now that you mention it, when that whole pop and change thing happened, it did kind of feel like a camera flash. Alright, let's start by combing through this place. Let me know if you find anything suspicious. Oh, at long last hath the hour arrived for my debut as a detective, forsooth. Don Quixote must have been miffed for not getting to play detective back in T-Corp. No idea where she'd been keeping them, but she immediately pulled out the detective props that had been given to Rodeo, Ryoshu, and Honglu back then. Verily, I had foreseen that the day would come. Fortunately, Otis wasted no time putting an end to Don Quixote's badly timed shenanigan. A sharp dressing down from her was enough to make our dejected chivalric adventurer stuff the costume away. Okay then, we should get moving too. Poor Don Quixote. I want Detective Don Quixote. Where's my 7 Association Don Quixote? Make it happen. Wouldn't that be wild if they made a Moses identity and it was Don Quixote? Misconceptions. Combat with unknown foes. I don't have enough enkephaling because I turned them all into modules like a genius. We spent a long while rifling through the photo studio of the LCD team, but no one found any decisive evidence. There sure are a lot of photos around, but almost all of them are just pictures of buildings. Nothing much to tell from that. Aside from the canister containing the film rolls Sinclair picked up, there are no remaining items here that can be counted as a proper clue. Executive Manager, I've confirmed that the rest are all empty plastic containers, likely containing someone's lunch. Then it's probably best to check the contents of the film roll directly. Yes, Executive Manager, I will find a way to develop the film, and I will make a film, and I will edit it so that it is more easy for your viewing pleasure. Did you guys find any sort of photo development room or equipment nearby? Let's search a little more before we see what's in that film roll. Mentor, what do you make of this object? For the 8th time, Engdu, I have no idea. If I had wits bright enough to understand all that lies before me with a single glance like that team leader, I would have passed the royal examinations long ago and secured myself a lucrative position as a court official. Or a 7 Association member. But Mentor, hadn't you already passed the royal? Once swung, a sword does not retrace its arc, Engdu, so it is with life. There is no undoing what has already been cut. Thus, it is unnecessary to dwell on what can no longer be undone. There is no after for what has been slashed away. Not for you, Mentor. Ought you not dwell on what can no longer be undone? I can't make the shadow face like you can. I misspoke. I did not mean it that way, Engdu. I merely meant to say that I do not wish to recall my past. I am aware. You have told me as much since long ago, whenever you were placed in a position to retrace the past. Mostly at the eateries where you filled your belly on unpaid tabs, and each time you brought down the stone wall before our house by your own erring hand. Those are exactly the kinds of things you should never forget. My belly. I feel a stabbing pain in my belly. This spot. The very wound you once gave me afflicts me yet. The one from when you thought you were only poking me with a scabbard, yet by some cruel turn it was your sword that ran me through. Mentor, you said it was completely healed and that I need not concern myself with it. Those very same words have been repeated at least 80 times. But it still aches every now and then, chiefly when I hear your sharp, cutting words that I really don't want to hear. Is that so? Engdu suddenly pulled out a sheet of paper and began furiously writing something down. What's this? I have written down the words that I have just said. If hearing my sharp cutting words afflicts you so, perhaps reading them instead would cause no suffering. Kim's face began to contort like a wet dish towel being wrung dry. I really can't believe this is the same mentor Engdu follows so devotedly. Where's all that dignity and forbearance Engdu said he had? Young Engdu, there is a matter I would like to ask thee. Apparently I wasn't the only one who felt that way about him. Pray, speak freely. This may perhaps be a discourteous inquiry, but I too, when speaking to the others of those whom I serve, often ornament my words with a laudation of an acceptable degree, and yet... I understand your concern, Lady Don Quixote. I suppose this is your first time seeing Mentor with his shoulders so unbraced and his bearing so loose. In truth, when I first beheld him, I also wondered whether such a man could truly be a leader worth placing my faith in. However, upon my honor, I assure you that I have never once uttered a falsehood when I spoke of him to you. My respect toward the blades of my own and foes alike, my determination to safeguard what must be protected, even should my arms be torn apart, all of these are undoubtedly the teachings that my mentor has imparted unto me. Truly? Why, if fortune should grant the opportunity, you may witness Mentor's true self yourself someday. That is to say, if we let ourselves be carried by the currents of the river to arrive at such a chance. Engdu gave her prosthetic arm a casual sweep, smiling sincerely as though she truly believed every word she said. Then, leaning closer to Don Quixote, she whispered, Besides, unless I speak with this feigned stern ignorance, there will be no end to his digging in his heels. I would ask for your trust, for all is aimed at his benefit. And forsooth, thou too hast been burdened with the trials of serving your superior. So that's what it was. I get it now. Oh. Just as I witnessed the budding of this peculiar bond of commiseration and camaraderie between our chivalric friends, the door leading outside was flung open with a loud slam. Nice arms, lads. Oh, we have arrived at the target location. Oh, it appears that the advance party has already been defeated. Oh. Wait, who are these people? Didn't they say there was only one violator? Oh, crap. Looks like it's too late to talk our way out of this, whatever excuses we come up with. Oh boy, this is not going to go well. The same thing happened last time when I saw the N-Corp employees. I thought we had the wrong intel, and all of a sudden, pop! A sudden flash blinded my vision white, as though I had stared straight into a burst of searing light, so intense and bright that it made my head swim. Yeah, there was the same pop, and, with my vision blinded, the only thing I could make out was Ezra's soft murmur. Until even that came to a stop as her breathing hushed. Oh! Well, this is a thing. It didn't take long for me to realize what was happening. Seeing it again doesn't exactly warm the heart, wouldn't you say, Ingdu? Though Escorp may indeed be passing through hard times, this alley was not quite so wretched in form, was it, Mentor? Ah, is that right? It looks much the same to me. Ah, this place. Did we just get teleported to Escorp? No, Dante, though it generates a considerable sense of verisimilitude, this is... I think I know what this is. This is a presence. I haven't been able to detect it until just now, but somehow it was now surrounding us, saturating every corner of the space where we stood. The dreary stone walls, trees bent and coiled in grotesque forms, the sheen of the light and even the air we breathe, all of them point toward a single phenomenon. This. This is the depth of the fathoms, fathoms made entirely out of distortion. There are completely different distortions where the N-Corp employees were just moments ago. Executive Manager, This is exactly it. This is what I was trying to explain. That's fucking spooky. Damn. Chuno-kun? Question mark? Where Ezra pointed, the people in smart, neat suits had vanished, and in their place, figures clad in blood-stained Doppo robes were approaching us with dragging, uneasy steps. Right, let's fight first and talk later. Ready, Engdu? My blade is poised to strike, Lady Ezra. And wait, where's the bamboo-hatted dude? I am afraid he has already taken his leave. He said he had no desire to cross blades with the Chuno-kuns of Escorp twice. Come on, man, not again. He's a repeat offender, that's for certain. Executive Manager. Wherever Kim's gone off to, this definitely isn't the time to be asking trivial questions. Right, let's do what Ezra says and get ready for battle. On your orders, Executive Manager, men prepare for battle. We'll show that bum Kim what a proper employee is. These guys sure are people. With their creepy faces. To cover the eyes is not to be blind. These fabrics created using Q-Corp's singularity are fashioned into many forms, such as blindfolds and headbands that are commonly used throughout the East. It is not unusual to see fixers and employees of corporate entities in the East covering their heads and faces with these products. The fabrics serve the same function as sunglasses, visors, and combat prosthetic eyes found elsewhere in the city. They scan the target's information in real time, augment the wearer's vision, and provide tactical analysis. At times, they can also serve as a means of communication with distant allies. I dare say it shan't be a problem for our brave team of blade lineages and also an Ezra. And an Engdu. Hello, Engdu. Ah, she has to claim their bones as well, that's fun. Lucent rippling flame. Mook Workshop. Ah. That's where that sword came from, I think. Damn, these are some cool fucking moves. Oh my god, that's so many words. Fucking hell, why does it have to be so long? Oh, you like that model? Oh, New Girl's got an eye for quality. Excuse me, can we try this model? Oh, come on, relax. I know the deal. You break it, you buy it. Thanks. See, told you I'm a regular here. Okay, so the sword and the scabbard come as a set. So grab them both and feel the weight. How's that? Not as heavy as they look, huh? Ah. So there's this particle, powder, thingy in that scabbard under pattern by Mook Workshop. Every time you sheathe and unsheathe the blade, for a brief moment, its blade comes out way sharper and lighter, and that model you're holding up happens to focus on the sharpness, so it's like ding, and voila, you get a nice buff on your weapon. I think it's one of the Yi series models. That's Mook Workshop's classic lineup, by the way. Check out the finish here, it's... What the heck, hey, yeah, this is the Yi Type 2 model that went out of production. You know what, this stuff really isn't easy to come by. We're lucky we found one here. If it's such a rarity, Lady Ezra, perhaps you ought to wield it instead. Ah, no, it's fine. All I can see is literally made for you. It'll work real nice with those boosters on your new prosthetic arms. It'll take some getting used to, but you'll be one heck of a fighter once you get the hang of it. Anyway, consider it a gift from yours truly. You're officially one of us now. Officially our new girl. No more temp ID. Then I shall accept with gratitude. By the way, remember that classic lineup part? It's super durable, but there are delicate parts that you should watch out not to break. Okay, you know that. Just let them break it if it really comes to that. Just don't die on us. I shall take your words to heart. She better not fucking die or I'll be pissed. I'll light the path forward. Assist defense, not bad. Oh, don't worry, there's more. Limbus Company Specialized Custom Prosthetic Prototype Mark V Dockaby. Those arms gain those arms. Offense level, take less damage, gain haste, gain poise count. She's a lot stronger now. Do you perchance speak of Dockabies that often appear in tales of old? Ah, I can scarcely believe it, yet after all I've witnessed while relying on the hospitality of Limbus Company, the existence of Dockabies from folklore may well be within reason. Come to think of it, I do recall hearing of a name called Dockaby Unit. On the outside, it looks no different from prostheses you might find in other nests or backstreets, but apparently this particular prosthetic limb has been created using technology unique to Limbus Company. I wonder what that could be. Since the development of this prototype was led by the LCD department, I would assume it has something to do with the own power of distortions. Oh, that's not to say that I have any certainty regarding the matter. I was only in charge of transporting it, you see. It's just simple speculation, really. In any case, I doubt this is your average prosthetic limb meant for body enhancement. Cool stuff, cool stuff. Special handmade golden retriever exclusive axe. Golden retriever? That wasn't there before, I fucking swear it. Then again, I wasn't paying a lot of attention, so it could have been. That's why people call her a golden retriever, not just because of how she is. Ah, she is a treat. Alright, let's do a combat or two, maybe, huh? Beautiful. Engdu's got some cool moves. I dig it. That should be all of them. For now. Surveying the area with measured alert, Engdu cast the blood from her sword with a few sharp flicks before sliding it back to its sheath. I love it when they cast the blood off the sword by sweeping it. It's great. Oh, they're not changing back. Doesn't look like beating up the distorted ones reversed them immediately this time around. Perhaps a fortunate turn of events, in a way. Let us search for clues while time allows us. Right. You take that side, Engdu. I'll search here. Ezra and Engdu moved about as though they were used to this kind of situation. Without even taking a moment to catch their breath after the battle, they began searching the space. Pretty! Don Quixote was the first one to voice her doubt in the surreal, unfamiliar situation we found ourselves in. We battled distortions upon our arrival hither, yet never have I been beheld our surroundings changed with so sudden a flash. Prithee, I cannot make sense of this situation. Couldst thou render a detailed account of this distortion phenomenon? Ah, apologies, it would appear I overlooked the briefing due to the urgency of this predicament. This is, according to the definition presented by Lady Moses, a location-type distortion. It's basically when a whole space distorts, and since places and buildings can't move on their own, the distortion gets fixed in a certain space. As for this one, looks like the distortion's already progressed pretty far along. Middle stage, probably. They don't usually get this big, but this one here is covering almost an entire street. Then those people... They entered this space and got caught up in it, and our job right now is to get to the bottom of the phenomenon. What exactly gets people caught up, and what happens to them once they're in? Of course, we can't really rule out the possibility of a powerful distortion that's encroaching upon its environment. Oh, by that I mean when a distortion bleeds into the space around it and warps it. Oh man, I'm actually talking like our team leader. Rubbed off on me, I guess. Ezra continued with a sheepish giggle. In any case, we won't be able to suppress or cure the distortion even if we whoop these guys' asses 100 times. We need more clues to help us locate the inflection point. Maybe we should examine these people over here too? With a call, Ezra directed our attention to rows of collapsed people all around, all of them clad in Doppo robes. And these are... The glyph emblazoned upon their headbands, Chu, bespeaks... Cha? I don't know. Chu. bespeaks propulsion and pursuit. It marks them as Chunokuns, functionaries charged with scouring and huntering runaway Nobis. You hail from the homeland as we do. I'm so surprised that you know of them. I could hardly fail to know, for I, too, was once enumerated among their quarry. Scientists and technicians were daily being dispossessed of their stations in S-Corp, after all. So it was no idle tale. Scientists who ply their craft without fattening S-Corp's coffers are seized forthwith and made Nobis of the corporation. Indeed, I count myself fortunate to have absconded with my friends afore the brand of Nobi could be impressed upon us. Otherwise... Nobi, the wretched appellation conferred upon the people for the convenience of those in power, a vile practice and an excuse of their power-mongering, nothing more. The so-called taboo hunters of S-Corp operate by much the same anatomy. Does the breaching of taboo summon the hunter, or does the hunter first seize his prey, to thereafter frame the captured with invented transgression? Did they have a knife, or did they plant it? Who can say? Speaking metaphorically, of course. If the powerful so desire to chase a man down, to take possession of his very being and keep him caged, then they need only decree that he should bear the lot of a Nobi, or a Nobi, such as what S-Corp has become today. My mentor, too, is one of the victims of that accursed practice. Then could these people have been sent out to capture your mentor, or Yi Sang? Or me, perhaps, or none of us. You mean to state that they may be conceptual forms of Shunokuns generated by distortion? That is a plausible conjecture. We're getting nowhere with this clue hunting. I need to shoot someone. With a heavy sigh, Otis pressed her fingers against her brow as if her head was starting to pound in frustration. To delve further into the matter, it is necessary to determine why the S-Corp and its Shunokuns have appeared as the motif of this phenomenon. Considering the course of events we have seen so far, would it not stand to reason that the distortion stains all nearby things with memories most foul? The presence of Shunokuns suggests a possible correspondence to Yi Sang's memories. Conversely, the absence of T-Corp's time collectors weakens that hypothesis. In which case, the most plausible theory is that this particular distortion could have stemmed from Bamboo-Hatted Kim or Engdu's memories. Oh. Engdu furrowed her brow and fell into thought, as though she couldn't grasp the full picture of the problem. I've seen a few distortions that show trauma or affect their surroundings. But this one, I'm not getting that pop of inspiration. Can't even guess at what this distortion wants either. Pop! The white flash of light suddenly drowned my vision again as Ezra clutched her head and cried out with annoyance. Oh, if only the team leader was here, cracking this would have been a piece of cake. I've never seen that face before. And we're back. So this is why you kept asking whether we'd seen anything bursting with a pop. The N-Corp employees must have it rough too, getting dragged into the distortion like this. I mean, what else were we supposed to do? It was self-defense, they were about to attack us. I suppose finding the root cause and taking care of it would be the fastest way forward. Let's just do what we can for now. Alright, first we need to develop the film we found here. We'll head to the nearest dark room and... No, actually, let's drag that slippery hat-wearing Colt back here and get him talking about the Shunokuns. That's probably our best bet. Every time we take a job, that slacker just slips off without telling anyone! As one part of me watched Ezra stamp her feet in frustration, I was also carefully following Heathcliff's team through the other part of my vision. Oh, I think I can help with that. Have you located him? What? Boss Clock found something? Yep, I found where Bamboo-Hatted Kim is right now. Minor detail, can't remember if I mentioned it earlier in this feature, but apparently they've now fixed it so the takeoff modules don't skip the Uptide 3 reveal cutscene, which is nice. Next time I get some takeoff modules, we can see if that's true, and then maybe I will have enough thread to actually do things. One can only hope, yes? Meanwhile, Heathcliff's team... Weird that he's been put in charge. Bloody hell, what's up with these gits? They're showing up out of nowhere. And their skulls are weirdly resistant to my bat. I'll help them remember. How should I know? But judging by their garb, they seem like S-Corp fellas. Gregor, that's racist. Things were going so well. We could have talked out with those fedora guys who were rummaging around the place earlier, you know. In my experience, I doubt it. But no, you just had to go barking at them first. Would have saved us a whole lot of trouble if you hadn't, right? Oh, so it's my fault. Those bastards look like they were nicking stuff. This is our contract area, ain't it? If they walked off with something important, we'd be the ones catching hell. Listen, bud, not everyone's itching to swipe hair coupons into their pockets the second they get the chance. Oh, for how many bloody months are you lot gonna milk that? Excuse me. It's me, Honglu, the MVP of Refraction Railway Line 6. Yes, hold your applause. What, you got a problem too, mate? I'll bash your fucking head in, I swear on me mum. No, not at all. Just wondering whether that gentleman over there is also one of our enemies. Is that the end of your troop performance? Shame, I was really enjoying watching you folks dance. Might have mistaken this place for the Peach Blossom Land of Legends had there been a cup of fine macchioli to go with it. Rice wine, apparently. Yeah, that's an enemy, alright. He has a name tag, though. I think it says, LCD. LCD or whatever, who gives a toss? Am I supposed to put up with every bastard having a dig at me? Oh dear. Oh goodness. How uncouth. I just woke up and now all this. Such bold swings. Didn't know there was an encore to that performance. You slippery little rat. Well, I do find this amusing enough, but if you intend to play with me, you ought to be more aware of your surroundings. Hi, behind you, there's a dead person. Nice one, Kim. Go. That smart gasping noise. Wow, he took out all those dopo-wearing people with just a single strike. Almost like he's one of those lazy guys who's actually really strong. Go figure. I'd say that about covers the price of admittance for your troop circus, wouldn't you? Well then, I leave the rest to you folks. Wandering blades and Miram tails never linger on the stage for long, after all. Oh, hell, you think you're going? Oh, damn it. What a lad. I suppose the question I now have is, whereabouts in the overall scheme of, like, power is Kim in regards to that team, right? Because Moses and Ezra are pretty fucking significant, to put it mildly. Obviously, Vesper is really significant. He might be a weak color fixer, but he's still a fucking color fixer, and that's not weak. Engdu ain't nothing to turn your nose up at. Bare minimum, one would assume that Kim would be stronger than Engdu, but how does he measure up to Ezra and Moses and Vesper? Because Bamboo Kim ain't a fucking color fixer. He's good, but he's not there, you know? Maybe he could be if he actually applied himself, but he's not particularly keen on that idea. So we'll see. We'll see. Many questions. Many questions. Oh? Huh. Well, isn't that fun? What the fuck does that mean? Pinning nail. Gain offense level down for 2 bind. Gain bleed equal to stack. Gain bleed count equal to stack. Gain bind equal to stack next turn, then lose 1 stack. Yeah, because it's all playing off of what our other Encore personalities do, albeit these aren't the fanatics. These are, you know, company men, as it were. Gain investigation order for this encounter. That makes them stronger. If this unit inflicted intelligence gathering on an enemy, heal 10 SP when using a skill of identical rank to the skill photographed. Clash power -5. Ah. Well, a minor inconvenience, but nothing we can't handle. Interesting. Funny how we're immediately in conflict with N-Corp, like no hesitation. So let me get this straight. Dude was here just a minute ago, and now nobody knows where he wandered off to. Yeah, bloke just turned up out of nowhere, flapped his gums, and then did a runner before anyone could grab him. Ezra let out a long, listless sigh, as though she was getting sick and tired of even complaining about Kim. Lady Ezra, I cannot say your frustration is misplaced, yet I trust you are also aware that more often than not, Mentor's actions have carried a profound design. He has never left his post without purpose so far. Nah, I get it, okay, but come on, would it kill him to give us a heads up before he goes zooming off on his own again? Nah, why explain? Quicker than just do. It's not like we'd stop him. What are we gonna do? Tie him up? Lock him up in a closet? We don't do that in our team, right? Remember last time? We all thought he was being a good patient and sleeping it off in the recovery ward, but nope, when the LCE got infiltrated, he snuck out without telling anyone and came back like nothing happened, and the team leader didn't even chew him out for that. Lady Ezra, that's... Oopsie, wasn't supposed to mention that, was I? Then the reason he failed to participate in the operation was that he was fucking busy or something. Simply because the LCD was lax in supervising its personnel, is that what you're suggesting? Lady Moses bade us hold our tongues for this very reason. She knew full well Mentor's intentions would be misunderstood in precisely such a manner. What part of this have I misunderstood? Did you not just disclose that the man deserted his post without authorization? That's the thing. He wasn't just wandering around. He was outside, all alone, taking down the ring auto mannequins who locked down the elevator that leads into the LCE department. Yeah, it's not like he was dealing with the strongest enemy out there, but the recovery ward didn't have an emergency alarm and nobody from the department was there to warn him either. He just somehow caught on and did the job himself. Huh. Heard it's all thanks to him that the facilities team managed to get the comms back up and contact the LCE chief dude way faster, and that helped the LCA to actually deploy. They would have been delayed for another hour or two if he hadn't stepped in, apparently. And he went fighting even though he wasn't fully recovered, so he came back looking like he'd been processed through a meat grinder. So yeah, he did end up staying in bed like a good patient, in a lot of pain. Then the soldier is not entirely deserving of reproach. That's not my preferred method though, and it makes me angry. Nah, he's a less talking, more doing type, I guess. Anyway, we were all stuck inside the building back then during the incident, so fine, I suppose there was no helping it. Today though, never mind. It's always like this with him. He always slips away and pops back in saying it's done. My point is, what happens if one day one of those solo missions doesn't go his way and he just drops dead in the street somewhere? How are we supposed to help him then? It is a concern. Actually, how does he even know what's supposed to be done in the first place when nobody gave him any instructions? Bloke's gotta be relying on his gut feeling, innit? Gut feeling? Look, I only saw the bloke for a bit, so I can't say I've got him all figured out, but let me explain to you how I've figured him all out, right? He's an annoying bastard, but he didn't strike me as some clueless sod who doesn't know where he's stepping. Heathcliff scratched his chin, then kept talking as though he was stating an obvious fact. Today's proof enough. He's not one of us, so Clockhead couldn't have reached him from that far and sent him to back us up, and there's no way he just happened to run into us just when we were about to get into battle, innit? Then, well, could be bloke's got some stupidly sharp head on him and piece things together. Could be that. But I've got these moments when I get a flash of that gut feeling, however you want to call it. My boss man, Matthew, said he could hear that kind of shite too. Said, I can hear them gears turning, or I think I hear rats scurrying about. He do things you can make heads or tails of. Listen, there was this one time when we were expecting a life and death fight. Matthew says he can hear them gears turning, walks into a random pub, starts throwing back drinks like he'd lost his bloody mind. Ah, that does sound like someone who's lost his bloody mind. Back when I was on the ship, some sailors used to drink the barrel dry before battling whales to blunt their fear, only to stumble around on the deck and fall overboard. This happened a lot to sailors on the ship that I was on when I was sailing. Yeah, and boss could knock it back like a whale. Still, the point is, getting plastered right before a turf war is not what most sane people would call a good idea. Had us all crossed, so we went stomping after him. And guess what? Turns out that pub was the secret hideout where the opposing syndicate was holed up. They were crowding around the gaffer, running their mouths about how they'll kill him and put an end to the dead rabbits, and that's when we came storming in and had them surrounded instead. Not a single one of them got away. We beat them bloody, every last bastard, and boss knew it'd play out that way. Sorry, but this really sounds like barstool bragging to me. You sure that wasn't just a coincidence? I should think it was no mere chance. If you're saying as much, then surely this was but one among many such coincidences, is that not so? Yeah, every time Matthew pulled one of those stunts, our lot ended up growing bigger. Wouldn't have kept working so neatly if it were just a coincidence. It is likely what is often referred to as indeed an instinctive sense or experience-based precognition, more accurately an unconscious process by which information accumulated in the subconscious is sorted and converted into sensible conclusions. There have been some extremely rare cases in which Heathcliff has demonstrated the ability to arrive at coherent conclusions that surprise even Faust. On further analysis, it would appear that he was employing a mechanism similar to a sixth sense, as some people would call it. Is that a compliment or are you taking the piss out of me? Though my mentor does not see fit to explain each step he takes, when all has passed, I often find that no footfall of his was taken in vain. I would ask of you, grant him but a little time and wait. Keep waiting, and the shape of his intent may yet become clear. Though I confess I have also been concerned about him of late, his recent silence is far heavier than what I have noticed in the past. To wait, Don Quixote began, hesitated, then stopped herself from saying more. She only gave a quiet nod. Yeah, alright, I suppose our team leader has own reasons for letting him be. That said, doesn't mean I'm happy about it. Let us return to the task at hand and do what we can for now. Fine. As the others quieted down, I finally had room to notice the place we found ourselves in. There wasn't a single ray of light, just a deep red hue pressing in from every side. I can't believe we've been chatting away in the dark this whole time, fellas, and the red lights aren't helping at all, especially with my aging eyes. I feel that. Oh, are you looking for the light switch? It's right here. And right then. Don't turn on the light. Fucking kids today know nothing about developing photos, I swear to God. I heard Merceau's clipped warning, his voice coming from a corner I didn't expect to find. Merceau, where are you? I have always been here. Ah, there he is, that corner. Is he washing something? I am developing the film roll, manager. Exposure to light may ruin the entire roll. Please exercise caution. So he'd been doing his own thing. That explains why he was quiet all along. I mean, he usually is pretty quiet, to be fair. Ah, didn't think you'd know how to print photographs, pal. Huh. What's that for, anyway? You expressed the wish to have the film developed, manager. I am carrying out that instruction. I see. A photo studio first, and now a darkroom. This may be no more than a conjecture, but it would not be unreasonable to suppose that the axis of this distortion rests upon a photographer. The film's serial numbers either match those found in the photo studio or deviate by a single digit. It is certain that this darkroom is connected to the studio in some way. The images bear a striking resemblance to these photographs. I also believe this building and that photo studio share a strong connection. Oh, where'd you get those photos? I brought some from the photo studio. I cannot name the locations in the picture with certainty, yet they all appear to have been taken at various places in N-Corp's district. Buildings, mostly. Hey, wait, I know what these are. People take pictures like these when supplying stuff to that department store. Correct. The photos must have been taken by a docugrapher. That's a word. Merceau chimed in, holding up an odd cylindrical container in his hand this time. He gave the container a shake every now and then, with a measured rhythm. Whatever he was doing seemed to be part of the process of developing the film. Film rolls are hardly affordable for the average resident in N-Corp. In most cases, taking photographs is done as part of professional duties. There are approximately 21 occupations in District 14 that utilize photography. However, only a single profession involves routinely photographing specific buildings, adhering to fixed standards that can be observed in these pictures. And these docugraphers you mentioned are the people entrusted with that job? Yes, they photograph the information to be poured into canned experience. Canned experience, wow. A docugrapher? How could a person of such a decently lucrative profession... Sorry, the hands fuck with my ability to speak. Fall into distortion. Decent job, maybe, but how do we know if they're a decent person? Ezra replied with a clear-cut answer after only a brief pause. What makes you say that? The photo studio we were at didn't have any darkrooms, right? No, it didn't. My team leader said there are other ways of processing film rolls, but in N-Corp you have to go into a darkroom to develop and print them. Correct. Film rolls are usually immersed in developer solution to be processed. Which is why photo studios have these darkrooms equipped with red safe lights right next to them. But this place, it's pretty far from the photo studio. Oh yeah, now you mention it. Check out these windows, they're only covered by newspapers, all messy like. If you consider how sensitive film rolls are to light, it's really super suspicious that this darkroom doesn't have any proper blackout panels. And you know films can cost a fortune in some places in the city, right? Who in their right mind would print photos in a room patched up with yesterday's newspaper? Oh. This probably isn't even a legit darkroom. Someone just hauled in the bare minimum tools needed to develop film and then threw them together in a hurry. Someone who didn't want to be seen printing photos, and people don't usually avoid scrutiny unless they're doing something not so decent. That's the case, and I can see why they might have distorted. Yeah, sounds like a lot of work. Right? Manager. Merceau came to my side quietly, still giving the strange cylinder the occasional shake. We think it's like a film roll. Turns out he bought a milkshake at a nearby vending machine. You have to shake those first. I have a request regarding your instruction to develop this film roll. What is it? Please ensure that the light in this room is not turned on until development is complete. Are we already doing that? Yes, however, engaging in battle opens the door to uncontrollable variables. This is why I've judged it necessary to make a separate request. Battle? There's no need for concern. I am capable of participating in combat while maintaining the development process. You're the only person I would trust with that, Merceau. Wait, can you slow down? A battle, you say? Surely there must be cause for you to believe so. At the photo studio, reinforcements arrived exactly 11 minutes and 34 seconds after NCORP's pinframe team staff were defeated. Deductions based on the events thus far make it clear that the photo studio and this darkroom share some kind of connection. Furthermore, Sinner Heathcliff, Sinner Honglu, and Singer Gregor have battled NCORP's pinframe team in this very location. I hear footsteps rushing up the staircases, approaching closer and closer. Well, go figure. It's interesting because Merceau exhibits traits that I would say are the exact opposite to what Kim and Heathcliff were said to possess. Maybe not the exact opposite, but it is different at the very least, because from the looks of it, Kim and Heathcliff both work off of gut feeling, and Matthew as well. They all go on gut feeling, whereas Merceau doesn't go on gut feeling. Merceau goes on facts and observation, exclusively. He does not act of his own initiative. He does not make assumptions, not unless pressed. He has to be told to make an assumption, and he has to state that it's an assumption before he makes it. Merceau only deals with what he perceives to be 100% facts, and he is observant enough that what he perceives to be a fact is often a fact, because he's simultaneously very intelligent and very observant. But it's interesting to see, obviously portrayed intentionally, that contrast in perception and situational awareness, I suppose. I have a feeling I know what Merceau is getting at, but I ask anyway. Meaning, the initial rinse is finished. The process is now halfway to the completion of the second agitation. This indicates that 11 minutes and 30 seconds have elapsed since the start of development. A battle is imminent. Please withdraw to a safe position, manager. Merceau, you... You should have warned us way earlier! That reminds me when I was playing Barotrauma for the series, and I remember Oku was like, we just killed a fucking crawler broodmother, and Oku was like, do you see little dots on the radar? And I went, yeah. Like, bearing in mind, the ship is moving at this point, I'm piloting the ship, and he's like, so what those are, and I'm pretty much telling this to you exactly at the speed and pace in which he said it. He's like, so what those are, they're crawler eggs, right? This came out of the crawler broodmother, and what you need to do is not let them touch the ship, he says, after I've already driven through them in the time it took for him to get to that point. And I'll just shout at him like, you needed to finish that point way fucking earlier. Sure enough. Yeah, it damaged the hull quite a bit. But it was a really funny example that I can think of a moment where someone's talking about something and you're like, oh boy, you needed to mention the end of that statement right at the beginning. That should have been the first thing you said. Obviously, it didn't matter. Some fucking crawler eggs is not going to do much to a submarine, so it wasn't a big deal at all. But it was pretty funny. It just reminded me of that. Understood, manager. I will follow that instruction going forward. Oh, we're going to have some fun with Merceau. I mean, we have had fun with Merceau, but we will continue to have fun with Merceau. All right, well, we're about a third of the way through. I think we can call it there for the first episode. That's a ton of fun. I like a lot of everything that's going on in Mnestic experience so far. Kim is an absolute barrel of fucking laughs. I love him. He's such a stupid asshole. Great. It's exactly what I wanted. I think I mentioned it earlier on, but I'm glad they just didn't make him an edgelord or like an overly serious character. I do genuinely much prefer characters who are capable of lightheartedness and general comedy who can then have more serious moments. Not few things bring out a fictional personality better than the contrast of tragedy and comedy. You kind of need both. If you have a tragic edgelord who only becomes more tragic and more edgy, it's redundant. Like you just kind of go, yep, that's what I'd expect from him, and yep, that's his normal behavior, and it does nothing for me. But to have both is important, I feel. I know I'm saying shit that most of you already know, but I like to emphasize it, at least to explain why I like a character so much. And I like Kim already because literally from Runa to now, he has seemed like an incredibly legendary edgelordy figure. And even Engdu herself propagated this perspective of him to be like, oh yes, the master is very wise and very powerful. And it turns out he's a fucking bum. She's not lying. He is wise and he is powerful, but he's not like my duty is to my blade, and I must carry myself as a true sword master. He's like, I want to watch TV and drink beers. I guess I'll fight this guy. I kind of have to. Or maybe a little bit more proactive than that, as indicated by the chapter we just saw, where if he perceives a problem to like himself or the people around him, he'll just go take care of it. He will do that. But if he doesn't need to do anything, he won't. But he's good at being able to tell when he does need to do something, I suppose. He's an interesting character. Looking forward to seeing more of him. But that's all from me for today, friends. Thank you so much for watching, and special thanks to my members and patrons for supporting the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated, lads. I'm very grateful. Thank you very much. So, looking forward to getting through more of Mnestic experience. I want to see that ID that is in the store, but I kind of need to beat this before I get that. Otherwise, it may be spoilers. Unless I'm going to look at it, but not too carefully, or not too closely. Yeah, I have no idea who that'd be, and if I look at it anymore, I run the risk of spoiling myself. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to get it at the end. So I'm going to need to move quickly to make sure I get enough resources, but I've still got a mirror dungeon to do, and I could probably get quite a lot of Mnestic resources doing that. So I don't see that being much of an issue. All in all, just having a good fucking time, lads. Hope you are too. Thank you so much for watching, and whatever happens next time, hope I see you there. Toodles. Goodbye.